That's why I hired Martin Gray to represent her.
Have a good reason for doing something when you break the rules.
He's got 3 tests that prove the GH test was faulty. Heather Weber was affected by the cobalt in her system.
And don't worry, your mystery friend will remain a mystery.
Is find the gun she threw away. Then I'll prove that Alexis did not kill. I'll turn myself in.
Ava really came through for Portia, which is nice and all, but let's not forget, Ava treats Trina like she's her own daughter. No surprise there. And speaking of awkward moments, what was that non-hub between Lucky and Aiden? It looked like they were trying to avoid each other like 2 magnets with the same charge. Hub it out already, fellas. Oh, and can we talk about Lucas? I mean, no offense to the current guy, but the old Lucas? Yeah, he was the Lucas. Bring him back already. Now, onto this whole Alexis situation. The only way Sonny's getting her out of jail is if he confesses to making FBI man take a permanent nap. Let's be real, this storyline is dragging like a bad soap opera. Sonny and Carly pretending to be a couple again? Someone stop the madness. And Joss? If I have to hear her whine about Sonny being in Carly's life one more time, I might scream. Seriously, she's acting like a spoiled teenager. Isn't she supposed to be, like, becoming a nurse or something? Maybe she should focus on that instead of the constant drama. As for Trina, what happened to her? She used to be interesting, now she's just arguing with everyone and contributing nothing. She's fading into the background. And speaking of useless, can we get Trina and Joss away from Gio? He's done nothing but hold them back like a human anchor. These two deserve better. Real storylines where they aren't stuck in a loop of pointless scenes. Oh, and whatever happened to Laura and Kevin's mission to find Lucky? They hyped it up, then disappeared faster than they did. But I guess it doesn't matter now since Lucky's already back, so mission accomplished, I guess? Now Rick, he's right to be suspicious of Ava. Fingers crossed he's playing her like a fiddle, because that would be sweet justice. And don't even get me started on Portia. She should lose her medical license for what she pulled with Heather's blood work. And of course, Brad's going to take the fall because Portia's got it out for him. Ava helping her is the cherry on top of this mess. Honestly, they both need to lose everything, and I won't be shedding any tears. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Messy Syrup. It's me, Abby, here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching, so let's dive into today's video. There are so many suspects swirling around this whole Agent Kate's mess that even if Sonny confesses, he might still skate free. I mean, Jason already got rid of the gun, and the one Sonny's missing isn't even the murder weapon. As if that wasn't enough, Christina might just throw herself on the sword and confess to save both her parents. Then there's Portia, her little lab tampering secret. Yeah, that's bound to come out eventually, and knowing Brad, he'll somehow be the one to stumble onto it. And Lucky saving Lulu? Fingers crossed for that long shot. Maybe we'll finally get a Lucky and Laura reunion soon. Just my 2 cents on the hashtag #GHChaos. Speaking of chaos, what's with the writers parading these old characters back onto the screen? Are we supposed to cheer for this when they're busy trying to write Sonny off by throwing him in jail? Nope, not buying it. Sonny can't leave ever, and let's be real, life is too short for that nonsense. All I want is to see Carly and Sonny back together, sitting by the Christmas tree with their kids, laughing, opening gifts, and waiting for Sonny's pasta to finish cooking. But no, instead, we get Poodle Portia tampering with test results like she won't get caught. Terry should be chief of staff. Portia's clearly too shady to be trusted. And oh, Violet, that sweet girl misses her dad, Finn, so much that she's acting out, hitting a classmate who, to be fair, totally deserved it. Meanwhile, Jocelyn's still banging the drum of loyalty to Sonny and Ava, but maybe not to the point of wrecking her life over it. Lucky even popped by for a heart-to-heart with Sonny, where they bonded over fatherhood and Lucky's mission to reconnect with Aiden. Then there's Ava, casually sharing Heather's blood work with Portia, hinting that someone at GH is manipulating the results to keep Heather locked up. And Ava, being Ava, tells Portia to just play it off like an innocent mistake. Meanwhile, Lucas is back, ready to be the cool uncle to Wiley while keeping a healthy distance from Brad. And Sonny? He's promised Carly he's doing everything possible to help Alexis, even if it means turning himself in. Why won't GH just do the obvious and put Jason and Liz together already? They're both single, so what's the holdup? I get it, Lucky's great and all, but Liz has been through all 3 versions of him, and it never worked out. Do we really need another round of that mess? No, thanks. And for the love of all things sacred, please don't even think about pairing Jason with Anna. He dated her daughter, for crying out loud. That's a hard pass, yikes. Now Sonny, he had some pretty unexpected chats today, especially with Carly. Honestly, no one's shedding tears over Kate's being gone. Good riddance. The world's definitely better without him in it. That said, it would have been so satisfying to see him stripped of his badge and brought up on charges. But hey, can't have everything, right? Then, in a twist that surprised absolutely no one, if the gun Alexis threw over the bridge doesn't show up, Sonny's ready to take the fall and turn himself in. The real mystery is why the PCPD isn't digging into why Alexis' car was at the mansion that night. Is Sonny covering for someone else? Because Alexis sure isn't admitting her car was there. Meanwhile, Sonny seems perfectly fine with leaving Alexis to rot in prison while she freaks out about not being there for their ever-so-needy daughter, who practically requires round-the-clock attention. Sonny? He's more interested in saving his own skin than actually helping Alexis. What a guy! Rick has every reason to be cautious with Ava. Honestly, I hope he's playing her for a fool, because that would be just the twist this show needs. As for Portia, she deserves to lose her medical license and her job for tampering with Heather's blood work. Of course, instead of owning up to it, she's going to pin the whole mess on Brad. Why? Because she doesn't like him, and obviously the hospital's not big enough for the 2 of them. The kicker? Ava's going to help her. Fantastic. But really, Ava and Portia both need to lose everything. I cannot wait for Portia to get busted. That holier-than-thou attitude of hers is so insufferable. It's about time she faces the music. And while we're at it, Ava's looking especially fabulous these days. Honestly, the sneaky alliance between Rick and Ava, I kind of love it. They're a deliciously devious duo, and I love to see where that could go. But seriously, what was Portia thinking? Confiding in Ava of all people? Like really? Ava's going to turn her world upside down and use her like a pawn. And let's be real, Portia deserves every bit of what's coming to her. Oh, and don't even get me started on the new Lucas. Could they not have found someone remotely similar to the old one? It's like night and day, not even the same hair color. But at least Ava's showing her human side these days, and not because she's helping Portia, who doesn't deserve it. It's all for Trina, and you can tell how much Ava genuinely cares about her. Speaking of Lucas, I bet he's going to swoop in and help Brad clear his name once Portia sets him up for tampering with Heather's lab results. You just know that's coming. And what about Sonny? Is he really going to turn himself in if they can't find the gun Alexis tossed over the bridge? Guess we'll find out, but something tells me Sonny's not going down that easily. GH has been a real chore to watch lately. I'm over Portia. Her character has long overstayed its welcome. And don't even get me started on the endless parade of old characters. It's getting so boring. As for Curtis suddenly being Nina's boss with 0 experience. Please. He was a great PI, but this is just ridiculous. And what on earth is Rick doing feeding Ava updates on Heather's case? It's completely unethical, not to mention none of her business. At first, I thought, maybe he's going to trail her when she runs off to warn the culprit. But no, he's just calling her from some parking lot to tell her he filed a motion. Why on earth does she even need to know this? Also, the wardrobe department is seriously out of touch. The giant belts they keep putting on Brooklyn are just awful. And don't even get me started on Ava's pink outfit. Atrocious. Someone really needs to revamp these looks ASAP. Now, poor Violet, she misses Finn so much that she's lashing out, hitting a boy in class. Not that he didn't deserve it, since the kid was cruel. Meanwhile, Jocelyn's talking loyalty to Ava and Sonny, but without letting it consume her life. Lucky and Sonny had a nice chat about fatherhood, with Lucky mentioning how he's hoping to reconnect with Aiden. Ava, meanwhile, is out here sharing Heather's blood test results with Portia, practically hinting someone at GH is tampering with them to keep Heather locked up. Naturally, Ava tells Portia to just play it cool, pass it off as an innocent mistake. Lucas made his return, looking to be the cool uncle to Wiley while keeping his distance from Brad. And Sonny? He's busy assuring Carly that he's doing everything possible to help Alexis, even if it means confessing to the crime himself. But knowing Sonny, he'll find a way out of it. Now, let's talk about Trina. Where's her justice? This poor girl has lost everything, and I get why Portia is frustrated. Her daughter was drugged, framed for a crime she didn't commit, and let's not forget Rory, killed by Heather. Then Spencer, killed by Asma. Heather even went after Trina herself, so yeah, Portia's done with people hurting her daughter and facing no consequences. And with Trina constantly forgiving everyone who wrongs her, you can see why Portia did what she did. Does that make it right? Not really, but I get where she's coming from. Eva Jerome isn't stupid, Portia. We all know you tampered with Heather Weber's hospital records, and guess what? You're going to get caught. So say goodbye to your marriage with Curtis. It's over. And Trina, if I were you, I'd start listening to Ava before it all blows up in your face. Honestly, who would have thought we'd ever see Ava and Portia in the same circle? But now that I think about it, it makes sense. Trina is everything to both of them. Portia as her mom, and Ava, who's clearly grown fond of her. But what I really don't get is how anyone could be on Heather Weber's side. Seriously, she's a full-blown psychopathic killer. I'd rather watch hell freeze over than root for her to be released from Pentonville. And Rick? As slimy as he is, he's not even worth wasting a bullet on, though with Portia spiraling, I wouldn't be shocked if she got desperate enough to try. Desperate times, desperate measures, right? The thought sends a chill down my spine. Meanwhile, Brooklyn and Chase seem to have missed the whole point. They're out here blaming the boy when Violet was the one who punched him. Sure, the kid wasn't nice, but let's not pretend Violet was in the right for hitting him. Now, for someone who's made a career out of manipulation and scheming, Ava is terrible at it. She has no poker face, and she's a horrible liar. Rick saw right through her. Portia should know better. If she signs on to Ava's latest scheme, it's going to blow up in their faces like everything else Ava touches. Portia's a hysterical mess, and Ava might be a master manipulator, but she sure can't execute a plan to save her life. The only thing Ava's got right is that Heather will get justice no matter what they do. Rick will make sure of that. And if Ava and Portia keep trying to interfere, they'll just ruin whatever's left of their already empty lives. As much as I hoped for Nicholas Alexander Chavez to return as Spencer, I don't think that's happening. The guy's on fire right now. I just watched him in Monsters on Netflix. He was incredible, exactly what I expected. Now, I'm streaming Grotesquerie on Hulu, and yep, he's starring in that too. It's no surprise. He was great on GH, but he's clearly got a big career ahead of him. Break a leg, Nick. Switching gears, I feel bad for Brad. The guy has always been a passive follower with low self-esteem, constantly dragged into shady business by people like Faison, the Cassadines, Liesel, and Britt. Then, of course, there was Nell. But when Britt came back to Port Charles as a changed woman, she was a good influence on him. He's grown stronger and is trying to make amends for his past mistakes. Originally, I thought Lucas and Felix would make a good couple, but now, maybe Lucas and Brad deserve another shot. If Lucas sees the positive change in Brad, maybe he'll forgive him. But I really hope Ava and Portia don't try to frame Brad for messing with Heather's lab results. He doesn't need that kind of trouble. And why do people think Elizabeth was too easy on Lucky? She has no reason to be angry, just disappointed. It's all about their son, and she's already gone through years of being mad at her own parents for prioritizing their careers over her and her sister. She doesn't want her kids to end up resenting their father the same way. I actually like how she's letting her kids figure out how they feel about him instead of telling them how they should feel. She knew what kind of men she was getting involved with, and now she's handling it maturely. But seriously, why is Ava getting herself involved in Portia's business? Doesn't she have enough legal mess to deal with on her own? And where's the pharmacist when you need him? Is anyone else tired of the GH writers treating the characters like a revolving door? It's like they keep throwing new people in at random, and honestly, it feels like they're setting up for the end of the show. I can't be the only one who's sick of this nonsense. For months now, it's been the same lukewarm storylines, and I'm over it. And don't tell me to leave. It's like being back in middle school with someone threatening to take their ball and go home. This is a valid question. There have to be others just as fed up with the watered-down porridge we've been served lately. I absolutely loved the interaction between Sonny and Lucky on Friday. That's exactly how it should be. Laura and Annie need to remember all the kindness Sonny has shown them over the years. And don't forget Molly and TJ as well. Sonny has done a lot for them too. So what's everyone's take on Sonny telling Carly he'd turn himself in if there's no other way to get Alexis released? That's huge. And honestly, even though I'm not the biggest Joss fan, she was right in what she said to Gio and Trina. I love Trina, but she and Gio shouldn't let Sonny and Ava's situations come between them. As for Portia, I have mixed feelings. I've never been a huge fan of hers, but I hate how the writers are sacrificing her character just to prop up Heather, the woman who wanted Portia's daughter dead. It's ridiculous. At least Portia has Ava on her side, though I have to admit, Ava and Rick have some interesting chemistry. Could make for an unexpected couple, don't you think? I've got a feeling Sidwell is coming to Port Charles, and I think he's going to have something to do with Sam's downfall. She'll probably try to play the hero again, typical. And I have to say, I'm really enjoying the new actor playing Isaiah. Since he's a doctor, I hope we'll be seeing more of him as a regular on the show. Now, for the love of everything, please don't bring Heather back. I can't deal with her again. Nobody wants to see her causing more chaos. Let's not go down that road. And as for Jason, how about giving him a fresh start with a new girlfriend? Maybe someone not from Port Charles for once. I also feel like Lucky doesn't get enough credit. He's been played by the same actor for ages, and after taking a break and shining on Nashville, he's back. You'd think that would be celebrated, but nope, not here. And as for the dirty hair comments, come on, people. If he took time to shower, you'd complain he wasn't at the hospital instead. He has his own style, always has. Speaking of style, Gio has been playing the violin at sports arenas since he was really young. He's a talented guy, but people just tell him to go away. That's harsh. Some of the comments are starting to feel like straight-up bullying. And what's up with the Sam situation? For months, all I heard were complaints about her clothes, makeup, and acting. Now that she's leaving, there are petitions to keep her. Make up your minds. The new Lucas is another one. He looks more like a Spencer, and his chemistry with Carly was spot on. But after just one day, people are already telling him to go away. It's cruel. Remember, this is a soap opera. It's not supposed to be real life, but the actors are real people with real feelings. Constructive criticism is fine, but bullying? Not so much. Let's try to be kind. It's interesting how they're handling Lucas's return. I agree, he does look older than Carly, which feels a bit off. I'm curious if they're setting him up to rekindle things with Brad. I really hope it's not another dragged out, boring storyline, but who knows? And wow, Ava just unintentionally pointed Rick in Portia's direction. That moment was gold. The realization on her face was priceless. It's classic Ava to get caught up in her own mess like that. Meanwhile, Lulu's life is still hanging in the balance. But where is Laura? I'm starting to wonder if they're saving her return for some dramatic twist. It's weird she's not around given the situation. As for the lucky hate, honestly, I don't get it either. He just got back to Port Charles and has barely had time to settle in. The man went straight to the hospital to get tested for Lulu and then ran off to get something to eat. Give him a break. Plus, his look hasn't changed much, and it makes sense for someone who's been through what he has, like mercenary work and being held captive. People seem to forget that part. Also, I thought Rick and Elizabeth were supposed to be running more tests for Heather. The timeline feels a bit jumbled here. Maybe they're setting something up for a big reveal, but it's a little unclear right now. I guess we'll see where that goes. Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you agree or disagree? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more updates. Your opinions matter, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.